Hello, welcome to the newest edition of the Town Administrator's Update. I'm your host, Rich Hosford, and I am once again joined by Burlington Town Administrator Paul Sagarino to go over some of the current issues of the day. Paul, thanks for coming on again.
A pleasure to be here, Rich.
So I guess the big thing to talk about would be, we just completed town meeting. Overall thoughts about how it went?
Town meeting was great. I was really nervous going into it. As you know, it was my first one, sort of being a primary contributor to it. So I think think the town meeting members were very gracious and thoughtful, and I think they worked hard to not give me too hard of a time to going through the material. So I'm very thankful that my first one went pretty smoothly, I think.
Yeah, I mean, as the town moderator pointed out, you got two rounds of applause, which is not always common.
I'm pretty sure that those are probably the last two. We'll be getting to those at town meeting for a long time. But it was great. I think town meeting went really smoothly, and everybody showed up very well prepared to take on the business of the warrant. So it's a credit to the town meeting members, for their professionalism and the amount of time that they put into getting prepared for town meeting.
Right. So now that town meeting's over, does that just mean smooth sailing for your office, or?
No, now that town meeting's over, the work of implementing everything that happened at town meeting begins. So it's an exciting time. So we feel as though we passed a big hurdle by getting through town meeting, but now we have everything that happened at town meeting, and now it's on us now to start delivering on those warrant articles. So. All
right. Now a couple of them that had some kind of wide-ranging discussion that maybe we can drill down a little bit. First one was an article for $1.1 million to complete the ornamental lighting along Mall Road. Can you talk a little bit about that project? I know it sort of is from some time ago when it began, but now that you can sort of we have the funds to kind of go forward with it, what can people expect to see?
Yeah, I mean, that project's probably started over 10 years ago, and it was an attempt. I think we would all admit that Mall Road is not the most attractive roadway we have in town, and we had begun a pilot project where some businesses along the route were able to contribute as part of their redevelopments to the black street lights that we have in some areas on Mall Road. And the goal of the town for a long time was to sort of complete that string all the way from Cambridge Street to Middlesex Turnpike, just so that we have the uniformity in the way that they look. It'll make the area look a lot nicer, and quite frankly, the infrastructure and the wires underneath the ground need to be replaced at this point anyway. So it was time to replace the streetlights. I think it probably turned into a little bit longer discussion than maybe we had planned on, just by the use of the term ornamental.
Yeah.
So I think that there was a sense that there was some extra special lights going up, or that they were extra, particularly more expensive than regular street lights, and it really wasn't exactly the case. But probably would not be using the word ornamental at any future town meetings, safe to say.
Right. But like you said, it was something that needed to be done anyway, replacing the lights.
Yep.
So, why not have it look all the same? And
yeah, it's been a long time coming, and we've been hopeful that there may be redevelopments that would occur along the remaining areas where we may be able to get participation from some of the businesses along that corridor. But at this point, we don't feel that there's any more opportunity for partnering up with any of the businesses to finish the project. So we felt as though that we would really gain some time and economies of scale by just getting it done at once, as opposed to doing a couple street lights a year for the next 20 years. So we felt that there was some real value to just finishing it off at this point.
Right. Probably get a better price by doing it all at once, too.
Yep, get a better price. The contractor to do the installation has to mobilize. It's the same mobilization for putting up 2 lights as it is for 20, so it makes a lot of sense to do as many of them as possible when you have the contractor there. So
now, one of the other I think big ticket items on the warrant this year was the addition of a new staff person, a new position in Town Hall of an economic development director. We talked about this a little bit in the first time when we did this, but talk about a little bit again why you feel this position is important, and then what's the next step going forward.
I think it's a really important position, Rich. It's not an original idea to me. It's something that's been talked about. I mean, we found it in reports going back to the 1990s that the town should invest in somebody to focus on this economic development. Other communities have sort of discovered what we've known for a long time, that it's really beneficial to the residents to have a good, solid business community. I think you've heard it several times at town meeting, but the businesses are 1/3 of the value in town, but pay about 2/3 of the
Right.
tax levy. So that's a pretty good mixture there. And the residents get a really very competitive tax bill as a result of the businesses being here. And things have changed over the course of time, where other communities have recognized that this is what they want to have in their community, and they want to be more like Burlington. So they're actively and aggressively recruiting businesses to their community, and up to and including businesses from here. So things have changed, and it's just become very competitive, and business moves a lot quicker now. So we want to just be ready to accommodate the types of businesses and the mixture of businesses that we wish to have in the town. We want to sort of be proactive and sort of determine what type of businesses do we want to have here, as opposed to sometimes we end up being reactive to who wants to come here. So I think I'm really excited about it. I'm glad that the town meeting supported it very strongly, and we put a lot of work into it. And again, it's not an original idea to me. It's been something that's been talked about for a long time, and I think I'm really happy to see it finally come to fruition. So the next steps for that, I think, is we try to determine a search committee. We'll try to get a good search committee together that touches, a lot of different areas, whether having a town meeting member, a Ways and Means member, people from land use. Just try to figure out what's a good committee to help us search for that position. So hopefully start that up this summer.
Okay, so it'll be an actual committee. You'll approach people.
Yeah, we've done it recently on the assistant town administrator. The selectmen appointed a committee, and it worked out really well. You get a bunch of different views from different people from different parts of the community, and it's very helpful in helping us select, a good person, a good candidate for us.
Right. And so switching a little bit from town meeting, though this was tangentially part of it, but we had the town election with the ballot question for the tax collector, town treasurer position. Now is going to be an appointed position. The current member, or the current occupant of the seat, Brian Curtin, said he's willing to stay on for however long the board needs him, or the town needs him. What's the process now for that position, and where's the discussion happening at town hall or with the selectmen? Right.
We recently had, prior to town meeting, town council came out and laid out the steps for the selectmen to take in order to implement the ballot question. So at this point in time now, we're waiting for the board to determine how long of a time frame they wish to appoint the current treasurer collector to the position, and when they want to get somebody new into the position. So how much overlap time should there be between a new person and Brian before he leaves? So those are the things that the board will be deciding in the next month, I would say, at an upcoming meeting. Similar to that, we would probably be looking to put together a search committee for that position.
Right.
And obviously have a multitude of people on that, but Brian, Ways and Means, town meeting, we'll do a similar type committee there so that we can attract a good person to the position. So those are the remaining steps at this point.
All right. Well, those are all the questions I had, unless you had anything else that you thought was important from town meeting or otherwise.
I just wanted to say great job was done by Representative Gordon on the ceremony for the bridge rededication on Sunday for Lance Corporal Greg McDonald. It was just a beautiful ceremony. And likewise, I was back on Monday for the town's Memorial Day celebration, which was hands down the best one I've ever attended in any community. So it was a very rewarding weekend, and kudos to Chris Hannafin and Jen over at the Veterans Department for their ceremony, and also to Representative Gordon and Cody for setting up setting up the event that happened on Sunday. They were both beautiful events.
Yes, they both were, and people can see more about them here on BCAT. We filmed them both, so
Great.
we agree with you. All right, well, thank you very much, and until next month, we'll
Pleasure
call
to
this
be
an
here.
update.
Thanks,
All
Rich.
right, thank you.
Great to see you.
You too.